Hello again from my front porch. I am actually out here am I in Urbandale now?
West Des Moines.
West Des Moines. And Urbandale's on the other side of the street, right?
Clive is.
Clive is on the other side.
Urbandale's on the other side of the corner, though.
Wow, this is such a confusing part of Des Moines out here. But anyway, I'm here with Jen Bramble. Thank you, Jen, for joining me here on the front porch today. Jen is actually the owner of this nifty studio here. Tell us about your studio, about what the work you're doing here.
I started Club BFit in 2005, and in 2005 I was starting group training, small group training, fitness, personal training, fun fitness for people who wanted a little different game plan than what normal big gyms offered. So I started this small group training studio, and about 2 years into my work, I found, or it found me, pole fitness started rising up on the east and west coast, and I found that very interesting. I have a strong dance background, so I decided to fly to Miami and get a certification in it. And then in 2007, we launched Iowa's very first pole fitness studio. Since then, we've moved a few times, just growing and fulfilling the needs of our demographic and our community. And then in 2014, we added the aerial fabric fitness.
Which is these nice colorful fabric thingies you see back here. Now, and all of that sounds wonderful, but many of you may have actually heard of Jen's. It used to be called something else. It was
Keys
Camp, right? Yeah. But so maybe you've heard of one of those. And I wanted to chat with Jen about, because number one, I find the whole concept fascinating. I've known several people who actually have taken her courses, and they say they're not a piece of cake. You work very hard. It's fun. It's rewarding. But the workout for the muscles is. You know you've worked out.
Definitely.
But that's a good thing. That's the whole
Absolutely.
point. That's the whole point of it.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to chat with Jen because there's misconceptions about what Jen does here and who her clientele actually is. And so, as this is one of my Discover Des Moines segments, I wanted to take opportunity to spotlight what she actually does here and the folks that are actually served. One of the biggest misconceptions that comes up is especially around the pole fitness part. And that is, oh, well, that's where all the strippers go to train. That's where the strippers learn to do their routines. But we were talking before, and that's not actually the case. You don't actually have that clientele.
No, my clientele is everyday people. We have students in law school, all the way up to 70-year-old women retired from law. It doesn't matter. And children at the age of 7 have done pole fitness with us. They come in with their mothers, and we'll have a mother and daughter be dancing in the same classroom with us. So a big misconception there is that this is only for exotic dancing or exotic dancing potential, and it's absolutely for that clientele and so many more people. Not just women either.
But when you come to one of her sessions here, you're not going to be in a session with just barely graduated 20-somethings that are all trying to learn their craft to be an exotic dancer. No. That's not the folks who attend your sessions. And so that's one big, huge misnomer about that. Another big misnomer is about the population you were just describing. Is that there's a mentality, and we were talking a little bit before about how this mentality isn't just related to this type of the fitness things you do, but probably fitness training in general. There is this mentality that if you're out of shape, if you're older and out of shape especially, that you're limited. There are things you can't do now because of your condition, because of your situation, and that this kind of exercising the fabrics and the pole and the other things you would do here, that those things are out of reach for you because you're a curvy woman or because you're a mature woman. But you were just saying, with the age range, you said from little kids all the way up through retirees?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We entertain all demographics. Because my strong belief in fitness is that fitness is for everyone, and if I schedule myself for an hour of fitness a day or even 45 minutes, I want to go to that fitness and not worry about, I don't want to do it, I don't have time for it.
Feeling self-conscious about everything.
We want to provide a space that make people feel safe at the gym, that make people leave feeling empowered to do more with their physical selves, and also that they carry the skills that they learn here out into their normal life with them. So the way that we get that, the way we approach it in our classroom is, to always have that confident posture, to make sure you're doing everything mindfully, and hopefully those habits
are good skills
that they create here carry on with them out into their physical life outside of here.
Well, and another misnomer is that people think that, I shouldn't say people in general. There are some people who would see this facility and they would say, "Oh yeah, that's the place where you go and learn how to pole dance." But you can learn to do exercise, to do things on with poles, but that actually is a relatively small portion of what you actually do here.
Yeah, we dedicate 30% of our schedule to pole fitness. 30% of our schedule is dedicated to, a third, not 30, but a third of the schedule is dedicated to pole, a third of the schedule is dedicated to our aerial fitness, and then a third of the schedule is dedicated to ground fitness. That includes mat yoga, dance fitness classes like Soca Fit, which is a new South Caribbean style of dancing. So those of you out there who like to twerk, and you might call it twerking, but in South Caribbean, you'd call it whining.
But I don't think I'm going to be doing that.
That's a really fun class.
I don't think anybody wants to see me doing that.
We're one of the only studios in Iowa that are certified to do that right now.
Wow.
And then we also have mixed fit dance fitness, and so we also provide every morning at 5:45 a.m. a curriculum of cross-training ground fitness that suits that early a.m. crowd.
Well, that's fantastic. See,
probably didn't know that out there, Des Moines.
Well, now you do. That's why you're discovering Des Moines right here.
Yep. We actually have a special rate set up just for the morning people, because that our morning program doesn't involve any pole or aerial. So I have a special monthly rate for people who just want their early morning workout.
Ooh. And where would they find? Is that information on your Facebook page or your website?
bfitdsm.com.
Because see, now that's going to be on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, I think it's right there on the poster.
It's probably on the poster too. It's right there. So you'll see it twice now. You'll see it. Now, I do have to, we haven't mentioned him, but I do want to point out, you may have noticed this little shagginess
furry.
right here.
He's our mascot.
This is, tell him his name.
This is Winnie the Poodle, and he's here almost always. I'm here almost always, so when I'm here, he's here, and he just loves to run around, and I don't know, he's a very comforting animal to have around here. He doesn't get in our way. All the students and members love him.
Well, I thought I'd make sure to mention him because folks may have noticed every once in a while I look down like this because Winnie keeps trying to get my attention, because putting his paw up on his.
He's some attention to me.
But I want to go back to the certification thing. You're talking about the dancing, the South Caribbean dancing, that you're the only place right now certified to do that. But this is not the first time that you've been a trendsetter of being the only certified whatever. You actually have a long list of things that you were a first certified for things here in our state.
Such as pole.
Such as pole fitness and things, because that's not just something that you put in some poles and say, come and I'm going to show you how to spin around on a pole. There's a lot more to this.
Correct. Yes, lots. And I go to conventions and expos every year to participate in the trends of today in pole fitness and whatnot. Aerial yoga was another certification that we hosted when we first opened up our aerial programming. It was a 10-day, very intensive yoga training, and we're the only certified aerial yoga studio in the state of Iowa.
Wow.
As far as I know there's some aerial yoga going on in Ankeny, but I'm not sure where her certifications are coming from.
Well, but we're here talking to you. So. I mean, no offense, I don't know who the other person is, but I know Jen, so.
I'm here to promote everybody.
Yeah.
I'm here to promote everyone and everyone who wants to be involved in their health and fitness. That's really the game plan. I think health and fitness can be intimidating in a lot of different ways.
Yes, it can.
And I don't want anyone to feel that they don't belong in a gym. They do. Everybody belongs in some form of fitness. They just need to find the one that works for them and that they, again, look forward to going to versus dreading going to.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because, and the folks that watch my little show here, they've already heard this, but earlier this year, back in April, I was diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. I've since gotten really serious about my diet changes, and I've been able to radically reduce that and bring it down into the doctor says I may actually, next time I go in, not even be considered diabetic anymore.
That's wonderful news.
But I did it all with diet. But he told me at the time he diagnosed me, he said, I got to get diet changes, and that I needed to start doing exercise. And he said I should do 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And I laughed because I told him I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what that looked like. And I still haven't done that.
That's a really good question. That's the advice a lot of doctors give us today.
Yeah.
But exercise comes in so many forms, and when you hear that, I'm curious. Let me turn the tables.
Ooh.
Like, when you hear that from your doctor, and I mean, you just said, I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
But what was the first thing that came to mind when he said exercise? Did you think strength? Did you think cardio? Did you think I need to go run?
Well, that was part of the problem, was I had no clue what to think. I had no guidance or directions to what that. But now, since then, when I went to the doctor in October and got my much better, the A1C was, you familiar with all the blood sugar things? Anyway, there's this scale called an A1C that I didn't know anything about either. Apparently, it maxes out at 15, and back in April I was a 14, and so then in October I was a 6. Because I, brought it way down. Yeah, that was the doctor's reaction too.
The proof is in the showing up for yourself, right?
And so, well, it's like, I didn't want to do the insulin shots and all that kind of stuff.
That's right.
And so anyway, but I did ask a little bit more because I confessed I hadn't done the exercise stuff, and he clarified a little bit more that what he was really saying was I needed to get the heart rate up. That was what he meant by I needed to exercise. But at the time, it's a valid question because that's why I was confused, because what am I supposed to do? What does that mean? I don't know what I'm supposed to do for 30 minutes a day. How do I know that what I'm doing that's what you mean, or is it just any kind of what? And it turns out it really could be almost anything, but it was really about getting heart rate up.
That's a big misconception, though, and a lot of people, they think that exercise means, I have to get on the treadmill and run, or, you have to strength train and not know what you're doing. Well, is that really good? Is that going to provide the solutions to your health and fitness issues if you just go and show up and not know what you're doing? So we want to provide a safe space here at BFit that allows people to come in and feel confident about what they're doing with their bodies, physically, mentally, be involved, being mindful as they're here for just that 45 to 60 minutes of time. And then hopefully they have so much fun that they, again, carry it out there into their daily lives and share it with the rest of their neighbors and coworkers and friends and family.
Now, see, doesn't she sound really smart about this stuff? See, this is why I want you all to know more about Jen and her studio, because if you're looking for this kind of thing, hello, right here.
Right here. I've got lots of, I don't want to say answers, but I have good ideas on what is going wrong with people's individual bodies.
And you've been doing this for now, we won't need to say the number,
it's okay. I'm 45 years old, and I'm proud that I can do a handstand and pole dance now better than ever before.
I'm not 45 years old, and I've never done a handstand.
I started moving. I started, my mom put me in dance classes when I was 4 years old. That was a very short time that I was in a technical dance school, but that I will never forget being a little dancer at 4, and then from that day forward, I started my own business when I was 6.
Yeah. Wow.
I know.
What was your first business?
My first business was selling earthworms to fishermen, because I lived on Highway 210 in Slater, Iowa, across from Casey's.
Yeah.
And we had
big town of Slater.
Greater Slater. Shout out to my Slater people. We had this beautiful home on the Highway 210 right across from Casey's, and we had earthworms galore on the, I remember it's the east side of the house. And my sister and I were like, wow, what do we do with all these earthworms? So my mom built us this little box on sawhorses in the garage, and we would go out at 5 a.m. every morning and collect them, and then we'd sell them for $1 a dozen right there on the highway. Yeah, we'd pull in, back in 1978 or whatever, 79, we would pull in $20 to $30 a day. Wow. And back then, bazooka gum was 3 cents, so it was a really good deal for us. But ever since the age of 6, I've been an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I was going to say, so what did you do with all your money? Bazooka gun.
Right.
Now, did you go and buy the little wax bottles?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, there was a little, I grew up in Carroll, and there was a little grocery store right down the street from called Brenny's, but it was one of those old little mom and pop little grocery store things, and it had all those classic candy, the things that you can't. Well, there's a store.
You can get them now.
There's a store out of Merle Hay
Yeah, but
Mall.
they charge like 10 times the
Yeah,
price.
yeah. They're huge, expensive.
It's not okay.
And fortunately now I can't eat them. So like I was at Merle Hay Mall the other day, and I walked by this store that has all these retro candy things, and I was like, I wonder what. And then I was like, you know what, you can't eat any. Just keep walking.
Yeah, no, don't eat candy with that diabetes.
But you know, we used to have the gum cigarettes. You know, they were in the paper wrapper, and you blow. There was like powdered sugar in them.
Yep.
Blow. It's
Super
like
fun.
yeah, you can't buy those anymore for a good reason. But
Right, for a very good reason.
but anyway, enough about retro candy. And but still.
So I guess my passion, like for moving and fitness and all of that, it started at a very young age of 4, and I've just always been, you know, the girl riding my bike in town, rollerblading. I was probably the first person in Slater to own a pair of inline skates, and I would skate all
Always
the
the
time
trendsetter.
through all the streets, and I was involved in drill team. That's probably when my passion for dance was re-inspired. And as a freshman in high school at Ballard, I was involved in a really serious dance team that went to nationals, and we took second place in California at nationals.
That's awesome. On a national level to be able to do that?
Yeah. And we went to SeaWorld the next year and won some prizes there too for our dancing. And I had always just had a passion for fitness. As a
How
freshman,
big is your trophy cabinet at home?
I actually just broke a bunch of them. I tried to save the parts, but it evolved actually. My trophies mostly are bodybuilding, because after my high school years, I then went to Daytona Beach Community College. And down there, while at school, I became part of the drill team. I took modern dance, contemporary dance, and I took my elective class was aerobics. And I loved it so much, and I loved learning how the body worked, and it just made sense with all this recreational activity under my belt. The actual application of anatomy and kinesiology then just like, oh, I totally understand the function of the body, how it's supposed to work. And call it my sixth sense, I don't know. I just know that when someone here walks in the room, they're here because they want to be. Number one, it's not. I'm not the easiest place to find in Des Moines.
Yeah, I had a little trouble finding too.
Not because of location, but just because, you know, when people dig in and do a Google search for fitness, there's going to be a ton of other options pop up before BFit comes up. And now if you search pole, we'll be the first to pop up. But if you search just general fitness, people might not understand that we started with that. That's my background.
Which is ironic.
You know, well, and the ground came way before poles and fabric came. So we always try to keep that in mind when I design my 3-month schedules. I try to keep that in mind, that we need a nice balance of ground fitness and aerial and pole. And if you want to cross train here and select BFit as your gym of choice, we can definitely provide all of the aspects of balance and fitness here. Now,
before we go any farther, I want to say we also need to mention, because I have to confess, I did have a little trouble finding the place, because I looked it up on Google search, and it told me it was here in Governor Square.
Yeah.
By Governor Square. Well, I made them. There's a building closer to University.
That's Governor Square too.
Yeah.
This is all Governor Square.
Well, see, I went to the other buildings, but it was down there, Skeffington's and other things like that. And I did 2 loops around that building, because I was like, am I missing it? Am I not seeing it? And fortunately, there was some guy in a Cadillac SUV down there in front of Skeffington's that he seemed to notice the confused look on my face, and he had me roll down my window, and he said, "What are you looking for?" And I told him what I was looking for, and he goes,
funny.
"They're up in the other building."
Yeah, he knows, because we used to be above him, and we were a very loud place above them. So yes, he definitely knows where we are. Well, to help the population out there, we're right across the street. Most people here in Des Moines know where Ohana's Steakhouse is. There's only one.
And Waterfront.
And Waterfront,
Over there,
Seafood Market, right. And those two are exactly across the street from me. So if you are walking out of Ohana's, look to the right, and here we are. We're right on the back of the Governor Square building, where
And you're right here on the corner, on the end of this.
MC
this
Ginsberg's used to be here a long time ago. So, yep, great building, great parking, and really easy access off of 22nd Street or 35th Street exit in West Des Moines.
And actually not that bad of access off of I-35 either.
Right, that's right.
Because you just take the university exit.
Yep.
Right down here.
Yeah, that's right, over there from the other side.
Yeah. And so if you're out doing your holiday shopping, at Valley West Mall,
exactly.
Then stop over here and sign up for your membership.
Definitely. Please.
Because you're right in the neighborhood already then. Now, let's also talk, speaking of which, let's talk, because you were talking about the things you do for your customers and things, but you've got the various standard programs, but you always have little special things you're doing too.
Yes.
So do you have anything going on right now that you'd like to talk about?
Yes, actually I'm launching my annual December deal tomorrow, as it's December 1st. So
Makes sense.
over the weekend, we will have 2 days only where you can purchase $50 now, and from January to June of 2019, that $50 I will turn into $100 worth of services. So you basically get 50% off.
So see, like I was saying, you're out doing your Christmas shopping, stop
by
over.
Or go to b50sm.com and you can purchase
is that
it there.
only tomorrow?
It's tomorrow and Sunday.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, so
it's a 48-hour sale.
Tomorrow, December 1st. Tomorrow, I have a book signing going on out at Jordan Creek Mall.
Wow.
And so here's your day for
There you
December
go.
1st. Okay. You can start over at the Valley West Mall area. Get over here. Get your buy your $50 that will turn into $100 worth of service here, or $100 it turns into $200, or what does that work too? Is it
you can
for
buy
each 50? Does it turn into another?
Exactly.
50? Okay.
And each we allow up to 2 to be sold per person.
All right. And then go out to Jordan Creek Mall and find me at Barnes and Noble out
There
there,
you go.
and buy a copy of my book and I'll sign it.
I didn't know you were an author.
Ta-da!
That's awesome. That's great.
And so, but you were going to. You have other deals other than just that one.
No, actually, that's the only deal we run.
Oh, that's the big.
That's
thing.
the big annual deal. You got it. And but what we can use that for is not just a membership here. We often bring 4-week specialty classes.
Oh yeah.
We have a self-defense 2.5-hour workshop coming up in January, on January 20th or 27th. I'm actually confirming with our coach on that this morning. I sent him an email. But we have self-defense classes. We have workshops that include chair dancing. There's one coming up around Valentine's Day. There'll be another one in June, right before the end of that double up deal.
Speaking of Valentine's, it reminds me of holidays. So you also, we talk about the classes and stuff you do, but you also host events and parties and groups and stuff, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and recitals too. Every spring and fall, we'll open up the studio for an open house. It's free to the public, and we usually have, like last time in the fall recital we had Twisted Vine Brewery right over here, and then one of my favorite meal prepping companies here in town called Prep Kings. They came and helped sponsor with food and drinks and things like that. So, but we open up this showcase to the public to share with the public how tangible the fitness is, because it's our students that we put on the spotlight at the showcases, so that they can be featured sharing what they've been experiencing here.
A true recital.
Yeah, it is. It's really a true adult-like recital, and it's so much fun. And it's, again, open to the public. We have a nice little social gathering before we get started, and it only takes up about an hour and 15 minutes of your time. So I typically set it up. April 20th of 2019 is our next spring showcase, and I set it up so that
maybe I'll have to bring the Front Porch people by to say hi.
It's great. It's a perfect. I set it up early enough in the evening, so it's a perfect happy hour if you're heading out on the town on a Saturday night. It's a great happy hour.
So see now I'll put in plug from my other, and I don't know what their schedule looks like, but in theory, if they're performing, you can come enjoy the recital here, and then wherever Abby Normal is playing, go hang out with Tim and Jana and the rest of the folks with Abby Normal that night, because normally now they're starting playing at 8:00, and so you'd be done by then, and so you could go over. So there you go. See, I've already planned your evening on April 20th. April 20th. Now,
which is also my 46th birthday.
Oh, well, let me be the first to say happy birthday.
That's my weekend. That's my birthday weekend, I should say.
Are you going to do karaoke?
Most likely.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's actually, Jen and I had contacted. We initially started talking about doing this at AJ's down. Here's another shout out. Actually,
hi, Krista.
Actually, the folks at AJ's on Court, they were my very first victim of this Discover Des Moines segment
really?
that I've done. And so the owner and I there, we had a great conversation.
She goes here. She's a member here. Yes.
Oh no, it wasn't her then. It was the guy.
Okay, her husband.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
It's okay, because we're only talking about them. We're not they're not a part of this. But it was really great. We had a great conversation. I had a great chat with them, and that was prior to my birthday party that I had down there.
Yeah.
But we ran into each other there, and we're chatting about this. And I said, there's so many misconceptions. We should do a front porch day. And that was what, 2-3 months ago that we had that conversation, and we finally got a chance to sit down and do this.
The fall is really busy for us.
Yeah, well, because this is a busy place. Right now, it's not. Right now, fortunately, I'm in here to be in here while it's calm and quiet.
Yeah, it's quiet here today.
But pretty soon, she already was busy this morning with some lessons, and so some working with, lessons. That's
personal training.
Personal training.
A third of my business is personal training. That's where my background exists, still exists, and I really like to train people in whatever they need, whether it's bodybuilding. I have that strong background. I was a champion bodybuilder back in 1997.
Wow.
Yeah, so I then...
Don't mess with her.
Don't. Don't do it. I'm really a teddy bear. And then after I competed, then I stayed involved in the bodybuilding community here in the Des Moines area for 12 years as the judge, if not head judge, of those bodybuilding shows for NANBF, which is a natural bodybuilding organization. Very well known one that advances people from here, the regionals, to the national divisions. So I was very involved with that community and loved it, enjoyed all aspects of it. Bodybuilding, though, is a full-time job.
It is.
You cannot miss a beat.
Yep.
And for me, that lifestyle just needed to shift a little bit, so I wasn't spending so much time at the gym, especially after I had kids starting in '99.
Yeah, well, and no criticism to people that do
absolutely
bodybuilding,
not.
but my observation is people I've known that are into that, it almost becomes an obsession. I mean,
Yes.
it really consumes
It does.
everything about their life, and it becomes the central focus. Everything else about their life revolves around that.
Absolutely. To the point of bringing your own food to dinners out with friends because you have to have such strict calories. So to me, that lifestyle was just a little too strict, and I wanted to have more fun in fitness, and that's what I wanted to.
And that's what happens here.
Yes.
See, that's a great way for us to tie this off. If you want to have fun with your fitness, I mean, literally, maybe I'll insert a little video showing you more of a full view of the place. But this feels like a dance studio. This doesn't feel like a gym. I mean, you have some equipment back here. We were talking about some strength equipment and some things that can
and we're going to make you work that.
Oh, but overall, I mean, because what we're looking at, we're not just looking at the phone. We're looking at a big wall of mirror over there too, with all that we're doing here. And so, I mean, this it feels just like a dance studio. And I just walking in here, it's like, oh. I mean, it just feels fun. It's very open. It's very bright. It's very colorful. So yeah. Everything you were saying before about wanting it to be a welcoming, I think you've accomplished it. That's what this is like. So, we'll wrap this up because I think we're about at 30 minutes.
I do want to mention though, on Sundays, don't forget we have free yoga, free community yoga every Sunday, and
What time?
It's from 9 to 10 on Sunday mornings, every Sunday. So come see me this Sunday. I'll be teaching this weekend.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, well, thank you again very much, Jen.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Paul.
you taking time to visit with me.
Too.
And I hope you all have learned some really great things about the club here too, and about Jen and her background. She's not just some. And again, I don't brag on her a bit, but she's not just someone that woke up one day and said, you know what? I think maybe if I open a studio for pole dance people, that's not it at all. I mean, you just heard from childhood, I mean, she's been an entrepreneur. She's been pursuing coming at fitness from every angle. And is just I was going to say obsessed, but that's not the word. But is really focused on that holistic viewpoint of what it takes to be healthy. And so and she's implementing that and offering that service in a very fun and upbeat environment. So if you are looking for that, which I would imagine anybody would
Most
be,
people who doesn't want to have fun in the 21st century?
This is the place to come find it. So again, I thank you again for taking time to chat, and I'll see you all next time from my front porch.